Hello, this is Mr. McMurray, and we're our second lab for the Unit 5, which is the balancing chemical reactions. Good news is this one will not be as long as the other one, but here we go. All right. First of all, you're going to start with a simulation from PhET because it's hard to get actual atoms and start balancing them around and seeing how that works out. All right, so you have this basic thing here. Now it will take you through what the subscripts are and the coefficients and stuff, which you may already know. So this one will be a little tedious perhaps, but it goes through all a little detail and it will ask you to do things. All right, now among other things, tools, you will look at the balance right here, and that will tell you the number of, for example, if I stick one of those, it will stick two nitrogens on there because it's a molecule of nitrogen. All right, and so forth. Okay, and so the balance will tell you. And if you get it balanced, it will show you a little smiley face at some point. Okay, but once again, that just gives you a bar graph or something. We're not going to worry about that, but you'll use the balance when it asks you to do that and use that to answer the questions. It's fairly basic, fairly simple. And there's a little smiley face that you'll see at the top of the screen when you have it correctly balanced. And it's going to ask you the coefficient or the number that goes in front here of NH3 or ammonia when it is balanced. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. Then they ask you some things about what are balanced and what does balanced mean. What actually is balanced when we say it's balanced, and of course what's true in the law of conservation of mass. And those are pretty straightforward. Then it's going to give you some practice ones. It's going to give you one here. It's going to go through how to figure out how many there are and do that and calculate lists for each one. The first questions are just going to ask you to tell me, they give you an equation and you tell them if it's balanced or not by counting how many. So example one, you have one aluminum here, you have one aluminum there. That's good. You have one nickel here, you have one nickel there, and so on. If they all balance out, all the atoms are balanced out, then you may say yes it is. If they're not, then you say no, it is not balanced. Okay, and you have several of those. Now starting with 4 through 8 is just going to give you a formula. It's going to ask you to balance it, and then once it's balanced, you're going to take part of it, either the product or one of the reactants, and say what's the number that would go in front of it, or the coefficient. And so you have to pick which coefficient would be the correct one to go there. All right, so you're still going to have to balance it. I would recommend you have a piece of paper and just do it there real quick. But at any rate, that's what you need to do on those. And that's basically it. So there's not a lot of complicated stuff to this one. And so anyhow, you enjoy, do well, prosper, and hope you have a good time. Have a well-balanced life today, at least for this lab. Goodbye.